Trojan Philly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, everybody hit that like button. Everybody hit that share button. Everybody hit that subscribe button. It helps me out in the algorithm as we continue to try to grow this community of USC football fans. Listen, I think USC is going to have a good game. And listen, this is very reminiscent. We're going to go over some numbers. We're going to go over some stats. I think Jaden Mayava can throw for over 400 yards. I'm going to talk about why. This is not a homer pick. This is not a homer commentary that you're getting right now. I'm telling you what I believe, and we'll talk about that why. And the number one reason why is because when you look at this Texas A&M, they did have a incredible defensive front, a defensive front that kind of comes and moves and grooves, on the quarterback. However, there are several guys, one in particular, that defensive end, he came from Purdue last year. You guys remember I did a video on him. His name was Nick Scranton. He's out. He's opting out of this game, along with two others on that defensive line, another defensive end, and then another one, a defensive tackle. You're talking about a Texas A&M team that their whole defensive front is essentially opting out of this game. And so I think that's advantage one towards USC. When you look at that and you look at our young offensive line, well, not so necessarily young. We got a couple veterans. Of course, you got guys like, and I want to double check, make sure some of these guys are going to be here, but you got guys like Jonah Monheim. I'm not sure if he's playing or not. That's kind of a question mark. But if he doesn't play, a guy like Keenan Connor, he will probably move in at that center position. Of course, you guys know two veterans that we do have. We're going to have Elijah Page on the offensive line at that left tackle spot, and then we're going to have Emmanuel Pregnon. As far as the wide receiver position, we're going to have Jaden Richardson. I think we're going to have Jacoby Lane, Makai Lemon. Of course, I want to see Xavier Jordan do some phenomenal things as well. He's a young receiver that I think we have. And then another one on the offensive line, I think we're going to have Alani Noah as well. So I think we're going to be okay. Tobias Raymond might be there at the right tackle spot. So I think as it relates to that, you got some guys that's had some snaps. It's not like they haven't had any type of snaps. Tight end, you're still going to have Lake McCree. You're going to have Walker Lyons. I think USC is going to be good there. And thank God for Jake Jensen. He will be the backup quarterback in this game. And I think USC can absolutely move. But I think given the fact that USC is going up against a defensive line that's going to essentially be their second string guy, we're going to have our running backs, our young running backs, get in there and move and groove, especially guys like Brian Jackson. You guys know I tagged him as the next Lindell White, just given that big frame that he has and how he's able to move and groove. So I want to see him. And look, for whatever reason, we haven't seen Marion Peterson a whole lot this season. We haven't seen him a lot last season, but Marion Peterson can go. Marion Peterson has some skills, so it's good to know that Marion Peterson is actually going to get an opportunity to probably move and groove. Let Brian Jackson and Marion Peterson move and groove in this game, and I think USC can cause some major mismatch problems, given the fact that that defensive front is out. Those defensive backs, they will try to do man-to-man. They will try to guard you tight. And so, look, if it's not a big-time pass rush, and look, we face pass rush. Jaden Mayava, let's talk about him. Jaden Mayava has faced some nice pass rushes, whether it's Nebraska, they got a nice front, or whether it's UCLA, they had a nice front, led by a guy like Jake Toya. I think now this Texas A&M, this may be, and there's no disrespect to them, this may be because it's their second string, one of their weaker defensive fronts. Even though they've recruited heavy, they lost a lot of guys, whether it's Walter Nolan, whether it's Anthony Lucas to us. They lost a lot of guys throughout the year from that big-time 2022 class. So I think USC can exploit that. If they can exploit that, I think that Jaden Mayava is going to have a 400-yard game. He's going to have to, those defensive backs, they're going to have to stay super honest with a guy like Jacoby Lane, and then they're going to have to stay honest with a guy like Makai Lemon, who can absolutely get jiggy with it. Don't sleep on Jay Fair. Don't sleep on Jaden Richardson. You got a couple guys that, especially Jaden Richardson. Ross, I'm not sure if Ross is playing or not. Let me double check that. Ross that came from San Jose State. I'm not sure if he's playing or not. But then you got Josiah Zamora. He's a baller. Kyle Ford is a baller. He'll be playing. Oh, and I forgot about Michael Benuelas. Michael Benuelas is going to be on that offensive line as well. So don't look. I think USC is absolutely going to be in some good shape as it relates to that, and I think we can move and groove. I think we're going to be okay as far as the wide receivers. Listen, I've always told you guys that USC, as it relates to the wide receiver group, I think part of the problem, and we talked about how they had to meet with the coach, part of the problem was they got way too much rotation going on. These guys, the same way a running back needs to get in the rhythm is the same way that the receivers need to get in the rhythm. And the more they get it, the more they can eat. And I think that's the way we got to work it. So I think USC will have enough from an offensive standpoint. From the defensive standpoint, that's the least amount that we're losing. The only one we're losing on defense is going to be Sam Green. And he kind of played as a backer role, even though he was coming on. Sam Green was doing his thing and coming on. But then we're going to lose Zion Branch as well. But, Zion Branch was really hurt quite a bit of the season. And then we're going to lose Elijah Hughes. I don't think he's going to be playing in this game. And then Jalen Smith, this is the biggest one out of all. But I want to see the young guys eat. I want to see Braylon Conley get his eat. I want to see DeCarlos Nicholson eat. All those guys are coming back. You got Jacoby Covington is going to play in this game. John Humphreys is going to play in this game. I guess Akili Arnold looks like he's going to play in this game. Brian Shaw, John Humphreys, all these guys, Prophet Brown, Anthony Beavers, Grady Vance, Mason Cobb. And so I think we're going to be okay. Desmond Stevens, I want to see him eat. So Nate Clifton, Kobe Pepe, Jody Abasari, Gavin Meyer, Braylon Shelby, and then Solo. So I think from that perspective, I think USC is going to be okay, man. And of course, I failed to mention Zachariah Branch. Zachariah Branch is going to be out of here as well. So, but look, as it relates to the wide receivers, we've been watching Makai Lemon essentially come on these last few games, and that's kind of been the role that Zachariah Branch is in. And so, from a kick return standpoint, I want to see Xavier Jordan get in there and move and groove. I think he can get back there maybe with a guy like Makai Lemon. Punt return, you might want to put Xavier Jordan or maybe put some Makai Lemon back there. But hey, it's time for the younger guys to step up. It's time for the younger guys to eat. Those who haven't seen Xavier Jordan is extremely explosive in everything that he does. He has a step on him. But look, he's had limited opportunities. And so when you look at this game, USC, it's essentially Texas A&M is a 3-point favorite. I think the score total is like a 50-51 total. So it makes it for like a 27 to 20 something game. But I'm picking USC going to win this game. I'm picking it's going to be a 21 to 30 game USC. That's going to be my score. 21 to 30 is going to be USC. I just believe that some of the younger guys that we have, I think a lot of people, I'm listening to a lot of people talk about USC. They even make a reference to, I listen to different podcasts. They even make a reference to Lincoln Riley and Miller Moss being gone. And they're not real familiar with Jaden Maiava. I think Jaden Maiava, the fact that he showed that he threw for 356 yards against a team like Notre Dame, when you looked at what Texas A&M, I pulled that up. Yes, it's a different quarterback, but Texas A&M didn't perform all that well from an offensive standpoint against Notre Dame. I had it pulled up. Let's see. I don't know where I put it. But they didn't put up, the quarterback only threw for 300. Now, that was Connor Wigman. He is a different quarterback. But look, man, I think what USC has to offer on offense, putting up 356 yards by Jaden Maiava, almost 500 yards offense as a whole. I think USC can absolutely move and groove and throw for a lot of yards. I think right now Texas A&M is, from a defensive standpoint, they're ranked 64th in the country right now. When they finish off, USC's ranked 71st in the country. And so you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots ahead of us. We finished 71st. And, we got a guy like Eric Gentry coming back. And we got most of these guys that, except minus Anthony Lucas. So I think USC is going to be in some good shape. They pretty much, from a defensive standpoint, they pretty much going to be what they were all year long, minus Anthony Lucas. So, look, man, you guys can hit me in the comments. You guys can tell me what you think. If USC can hold a team like like some of the teams that we've been playing, I think they got better offenses than Texas A&M. But we'll see what happens. But yes, we're gonna have to stop the run. Texas A&M is a run-heavy team. The quarterback is a mobile quarterback. But I think USC, if we could get out front and then try to force them to throw the ball, I think USC can win this game easily, 21-30. That's my score. I'm sticking to it, man. I'm fighting on with my guys, man. You guys can hit me in the comment section. You guys can tell me what you think. It's time for the young guys to eat. Jaden Mayava, I'm predicting at least 400 yards of offense. I think he has something to prove. I think he still got some haters out there, and I want to see him spread the ball evenly all around with some of the receivers that he has a little bit of chemistry with thus far, such as a Kyle Ford and Jacoby Lane, as well as Mekhi Lemon, and then let some of these younger guys come in and get some work as well. We are gonna be missing Kyron Hudson. I failed to mention his name. Big shout out to him. He's a monster of a guy. He was a possession guy that could catch pretty much anything. But look, man, I think USC. One thing about USC, they never will lack talent, and I think that's the case. We'll see this weekend. Well, Friday. So hit me in the comments. You guys tell me what you think. You guys already know where you can find me. It's gonna be USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. I'm out of here. Listen, I hope everybody had a blessed Christmas. I'm out of here. Until later on. Fight on, fight on, fight on.